Today I'm going to tell you a horror story, so watch till the end. It's going to be creepy. It all started when I got off the bus just outside the small town of Dellingham, a sleepy, fog-drenched place in the middle of nowhere that looked like it hadn't changed since the 90s, with peeling paint, rusted mailboxes, and front porches that whispered secrets to the wind, exactly the kind of place that hid decades-old pain. And I had done my research. 6 years ago, a 7-year-old girl named Layla Whitmore vanished from her backyard and was never found. Her parents shattered, her posters still taped to telephone poles like the town was too stubborn to move on, and me? I bore just enough resemblance to her childhood photos to pull off something I wasn't too proud of. I planned to pretend to be her and live off their guilt and grief, a soft bed, warm meals, and maybe even a little money, but what I didn't know was that I wasn't the only one pretending. I knocked on the faded yellow door of the Whitmore house, heart pounding. Already rehearsing my story, I had escaped from a captor. I didn't remember much. Trauma had taken my memories, and when her mother opened the door, her eyes went wide, not in disbelief, but in relief, like she had known I'd return one day. Like I had simply wandered off into the woods and now came back home, and she wrapped me in her arms and whispered, "You're finally back," not even questioning how I could be taller, older, different. Her husband, Peter, stared at me over dinner that night, his fork frozen mid-air, his expression unreadable. And that was the first time I felt something was off. Not that they believed me too quickly, but that they acted like they were expecting someone else, entirely someone more. Wrong. The house was old wooden floors that creaked like they had bones beneath them. Paintings of a smiling Leela everywhere except. None of them looked quite like the ones from online, her eyes too large, her grin stretched too wide. Like someone had tried to remember her but got the details a little wrong, and I started to wonder if maybe the Whitmores weren't just broken, but strange, deeply strange, like they'd been waiting. I figured I'd ride this out for a few weeks, get what I could, then vanish. But things changed the first night when I woke up to someone whispering my name. "Lila? Come back, Lila." But it wasn't either of them. It was coming from inside the walls, and the temperature in the room dropped so low I could see my breath. I told myself it was my guilt or imagination, but the next morning they sat me down and asked questions I hadn't prepared for. "Do you still hear her? Does the whispering still happen in the attic? Do you still talk to the red-eyed man?" And I froze, because that wasn't normal parental behavior. And when I laughed nervously, saying I didn't remember, they both just nodded solemnly and said, "That's probably for the best for now." The attic was always locked, a heavy iron bolt across it, but sometimes at night I'd hear things moving above me, scraping, dragging something wet, hitting wood, and once, I swear, I saw fingers reaching from under the attic door, pale and impossibly long, retreating when I blinked. I tried to leave, I really did. I packed a bag and walked to the road, but the bus didn't stop for me, even when I waved. I asked a gas station clerk for help, but he looked through me like I didn't exist. And when I screamed, no sound came out, and that's when I realized this town wasn't real anymore, at least not to me. One night I went to the bathroom and saw Lila in the mirror. No, not me, not my reflection, her, standing behind me, blood dripping from her nose, eyes black as ink, her mouth open in a silent scream. And when I turned around, nothing was there, but the mirror stayed fogged with a message scrawled by an invisible hand. "I am still here." From that point on, the Whitmores stopped calling me Lila. They started calling me the Shell, saying things like, "It's waking up inside you, and the soul must anchor somewhere." And I became convinced they weren't mourning parents at all, but cultists, summoners, or worse, caretakers of something ancient and wrong. I tried to confront them, but they just smiled gently, the way you'd smile at a rabid dog, and told me the truth. The real Lila had come back 2 years ago, but she brought something with her. Something that killed her in the attic, something they locked away, something that needed a new body to walk in again, and I, by pretending to be her, had given it permission. I laughed, thinking it was insane, that they were just messing with me, until they unlocked the attic and told me to go look for myself. And I did. God help me, I did. The door groaned open and the smell hit me, first sweet rot, like dead flowers, and something worse, and in the far corner, crouched like a spider, was something wearing Layla's face but stretched. broken and smiling way too wide, her mouth hanging open to reveal a second face inside, and as it crawled toward me, it whispered, "Thank you for letting me in." And I ran, I screamed, but my body didn't listen, because I wasn't in control anymore. From that night, I watched my body do things I never would grin eerily. Speak in tongues, dig into the earth behind the shed like something was buried there and inside my own mind. I was trapped, screaming, watching from behind my own eyes as they called me Lila again, only now with reverence, with devotion. The Whitmores had gotten what they wanted, their daughter-S body reborn with something even older inside, and I was just the price of pretending. So, if you ever think about scamming someone about pretending to be someone you're not, remember me. I only faked being a missing girl for a place to sleep, and now I'll never wake up again. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and definitely leave a comment.